And welcome back to the Patrick Regan Show here on the Libertarian Lighthouse Radio Network and News Talk 98.7 WOKI. Playing some Shine Down a little while back. That song's called Enemies. Maybe playing off that last segment a little bit too well. What I want to talk about this segment real quick is our government here. Our government here in America, it's not supposed to be trying to impose moral standards on people. And it's also not supposed to be trying to fight terrorism overseas, but I'm not going to let myself get started with that. But our government is not supposed to be subsidizing people's medical care, their food, their housing, none of that. But in making the argument for a lot of these programs, we're told it's only fair, or that we're supposed to be a compassionate country, and this is what compassionate countries do. This is the outright imposition of moral standards on a supposedly free population. You may think it's fair to take money from one citizen and use it to pay another citizen's bills, but I don't. So if you use government to make me do it, then you're imposing your moral standards on me. That's what taking money from one American citizen and giving it to another in the form of charity is. It's an activity enforcing a moral standard. I can't say, well, I want my tax money to only be spent on repairing roads. Sorry, you don't get a choice. You pay the tax, or the nice government agents will show up at your door and take the money from you. If you don't have it right there, they'll take it out of your bank account or sell off your assets. Whether you agree with it or not, what they're doing, it doesn't matter. Whether it violates your rights or not, still doesn't matter. The government's not concerned. So if it's immoral for one person to take part of someone else's salary, too bad. It doesn't matter because the government is enforcing this moral principle. It's determined that it's moral to take some of your money, so that's what it's going to do. Again, it doesn't matter whether you agree or not. But let's look at it from another angle. Let's say you're in a gay marriage and you move to a state that doesn't recognize it. Well, what do? You sue the state in court to recognize the legality of your union. It's happening right here in Tennessee. If someone says, hey, I don't think that's moral, I don't think gay marriage is the right thing to be doing, you'll be shouted down with, don't saddle me with your morality. Don't try to make me live by your morals. So as you see, if the government is enforcing a liberal moral, then that's fine. If it's honoring a conservative moral, then it's oppression and must be stopped. So what's the answer to all this? Simple. The government should not be enforcing any morals at all. Gay marriage, government shouldn't have anything to do with marriage, gay or otherwise. Government shouldn't care. Everyone should be taxed at an equal rate, whether you're married or not. Anything else is favoritism, and the government shouldn't be doing it. Welfare, government shouldn't be doing it. Taking money from one person to care for someone else is a moral question, and therefore government shouldn't be involved. That's our country's whole problem, too much government involvement. You can lay 99% of our country's problems at the feet of government intrusion. Look at the schools. People say the problem is we took religion out of the schools or that we need to spend more money. No, the problem is government involvement. If we didn't have government schools, we wouldn't have all the politics, all the political correctness. If you didn't like what a particular school was teaching your child, you could send them to one with which you did agree. Even an inexpensive basic private school could teach reading, writing, and arithmetic, and it wouldn't take 12 years to do it. Have you ever thought about that? 12 years of school, and all a lot of students have to show for it is a minimal amount of education. They can't do complex multiplication. They don't know algebra or even basic grammar. They can't spell. 12 years and they haven't learned what a third grader knows in a private school. That's ridiculous. All because we have a government screwing up yet another part of our society. More children increasingly born out of wedlock? Not really a moral problem, but still, it's a problem with government being involved in the charity business. If you're a girl and can't get monetary support for a child, then more than likely you aren't going to jump in bed with a guy who doesn't have a job or money. Is it being cruel? Doesn't matter. Government doesn't have the right to take money from one citizen and give it to another. Cruelness is a morality label, and our government shouldn't be legislating morality. Besides, is it not cruel to take money away from one parent to give to another? What about the first parent's rights to provide for their children? Is it okay to deprive one child of money and give it to another? That's what the government's doing. When money is taken from one tax-paying parent, it is in essence being taken from their child as well, is it not? That's less money available to be spent for that child because it's being given to another whose parent doesn't feel the need to support their child. Now, is that the right thing to do? Government should not be legislating morality. Government involvement is causing more problems, and you can see it happening every day. And as I stated on this show, around the world, we're seeing the problems. When we deviate away from these basic functions of government, we're getting into morality. We're forcing a moral standard on people who are supposed to be free to be immoral if they want, as long as they aren't infringing on the rights of another individual. Obamacare is the same thing. Obamacare is the enforcement of government-determined correct morals, in this case, medical care. We're up on the last of the show here. I've run out of time. If you want more information about us, you can hit our Facebook page, facebook.com/Patrick Riggins Show, facebook.com/Patrick Riggins Show. You don't have to be a member of Facebook. You can just type in that address, and you can read everything on the page. You can also get our archives at youtube.com/Patrick Riggins Show. And if you want to email us, again, easy, patrickrigginshow@gmail.com. Liberty begins with you. It's in your mind. Don't ever forget that. Join us next Saturday afternoon at 4, where we'll be fighting for freedom, liberty, and the restoration of the Constitution. Thanks for listening, and have a great week. As a dreamer dreams and a
join us again next week for a solid dose of truth on the Patrick Riggins Show.